Dr. Tuttle-Huff, and she is the HR here at Tip City. And so she's going to be talking to you. What's this week's value?
Punctuality.
Punctuality. Those are a lot of P words. You guys did good. You guys did good. So she's going to be talking to you about punctuality and how that plays into her career. And you have tons of questions, right? But remember, when you ask questions, if you don't think you can talk loud enough, come up here so we can hear you. Because everybody else is going to be watching the video at the end. All right? Questions? Beautiful. There you go, Mike.
Good morning. Thanks for having me over. I'm Dr. Tuttle-Huff. And Tuttle-Huff is a hyphenated name. I got married when I was young in college and didn't want him to mess up my transcript, so I kept the hyphenated name since the 80s, and that's kind of unusual for most women. Yeah. So when people say my name, I often have to spell it for them because they think it's one name, but it's two. I started my career as a middle school teacher and spent about 12 years in the classroom, and I became a counselor, and then I became an assistant principal at a career tech center. Then I became a principal at a career tech center, finally became a superintendent at a career tech center. That's very much like Miami Valley CTC. And then I became a superintendent at a district very similar to Tip City, and then decided I'm in my 30th year. It's time to do something I really wanted to do, which was HR. And HR is basically short for human resources. And part of our job is to hire people, to recruit people to come to work at Tip City. All these great teachers that you work with, we've recruited or hired here at Tip City, and some of them I've hired in the last year or so. I will tell you that when I am looking to hire someone, I look at their resume. And if you look at my resume, it looks great. It looks super. I mean, you're going to call me in a heartbeat. But if I show up even on time to an interview, let's say my interview is at 8:30, and I show up at 8:30 to an interviewer, they're going to go, You may go, I'm on time, I'm walking in, I'm sitting down. That's not how it works in the business world. In the business world, when you come in for an interview, basically you're expected to be there 5 to 10 minutes ahead of what your interview is. And so this summer, I interviewed some of the teachers that you have working here at Tip City High School. And I will tell you, every teacher that was hired this year showed up on time, meaning before, 5 to 10 minutes before their interview. It gives you time to sit outside and think of all the things you want to say to the interviewers. How many of you ever been in an interview? Had an interview for a job, interviewed for anything else. How about an interview just with your friend in a class where you had to interview the other person? How many of you interviewed at a business where you're working? Where you work?
I'm over at Harrison's right now.
You do?
Yeah.
And what time are you? What time are you supposed to be at Harrison's? Let's say this weekend.
So like
5 o'clock. What time do you show up?
4:50.
4:50. Who else has a job? Anybody have a job in here? Where do you work?
McDonald's.
Oh, and what time does McDonald's expect you to be there? Just on time or a little bit early?
A little early.
A little early. Why do you have to be there early? Why do you have to be at Harrison's or at McDonald's early?
Get prepped.
To get prepped. How many of you feel like when you get up in the morning and the alarm clock goes off and you hit the snooze button and then all of a sudden you are late, that you feel like you don't have time to either take a shower or put on your makeup, or your hair is, or you're looking for your clothes in the washer that aren't done? How many of you feel like that makes you nervous or anxious the rest of the day? It does me. I'm just going to be honest with you. Every time I hit that snooze button, I know it's going to be ugly. If we are smart as, I shouldn't say smart, but if we're the type of people who are destined to do something great, we're going to think of all the ways to organize our lives to make it a better and more structured time when we have to when we have to be somewhere. In other words, you need to make sure that in the morning, when you hit that snooze button, in your head, you're thinking, how much time is this going to cost me to fix my hair? Some of you guys have very beautiful hair. Some of you girls have very beautiful hair. How long does it take you to do that? You'll have to take some time off of that. Makeup. Hopefully some of you guys aren't wearing makeup, but if you are, how long does it take you to do that? How long does it take you to eat breakfast? How many of you ate breakfast this morning? How many of you stopped somewhere and got breakfast? Because you had time. What time does school start? 7 what? 7:40. How many of you were, if you were riding a bus, you knew that you had to be out the bus stop 5 minutes early because you didn't know what time the bus was going to be there? How many of you that were riding with someone knew that you had to be ready because that person was going to leave you if you weren't out there? How many of you have to depend on someone, whether it be a parent, a brother or sister, grandparent, whoever, who is always on time and they're hollering at you, let's go, let's go, let's go? How many of you have a parent or a grandparent or a brother or sister that's always late and is making you late? Which of those feel better? Which of those feel better?
Before, like get there early and don't just go show up right on time because then you'll still be late.
You will, and you're very correct. All right, I'm going to stop here because you guys are like, oh, I don't want to listen to her. I remember sitting there. What questions do you really have about punctuality or organizing your life enough so that you would, when you go to a job interview, or you just go to a job and know that you're going to feel comfortable when you get there and have time to prepare? What questions do you have? And if you don't have any, I have an activity for you.
I have a question.
Yep.
Where is the company located at?
Our board office?
Yes.
Okay, do you know where the police station is?
Oh, yeah.
Straight across from the police station.
Okay.
Yes.
Is it like where the Vandalia Fire Department also is?
I don't know where the Van-Dyke, no, it's, you know where McDonald's is? You know where okay, it's a street over. It's a street over, like closer to, we're right next to Dos Lunos, the Chinese place, all those, anyone, yeah, right by there. What other questions do you have? Yes?
Why do you personally think like it's good to have punctuality?
Why do I personally?
Yeah,
I know that, first of all, I know that for me, if I'm not prepared and organized in my life, I cannot function the rest of the day. If I'm late getting up, or if I know I have to hurry, it just makes me frustrated and it makes me excited and I don't get to organize for the day. And for me, I need to be organized. Some people do everything off the cuff and they don't organize their day. I try to organize my day and think of all the things I need to do that day, and if I'm behind, I'm definitely frustrated. What else? Okay, I'm going to ask you to do a quick activity. How many of you feel that you are punctual, like you're always on time? Always on time. How many of you feel like you are rarely on time? You can tell me. It's okay, because I have grandchildren. You can tell me. How many of you feel like you would love to be on time, but you're always depending on somebody else to get you somewhere? That's very common. If you think that that's not common, it's very common. I know that, especially my granddaughter has a dad home and a mom home. Dad is always on time, like 15, 20 minutes early, which drives her insane. She's your age. And mom is always 15 to 20 minutes late, which drives you even more insane. And when you have to rely on these people to get you there, and then in different weeks you have different ways that you have to live, it's very frustrating. So I want you to think about, no matter whether you're a punctual person, a non-punctual person, or someone who would like to be punctual, I want you to think about this. What is one thing that you can continue to do that will keep you punctual all the time? What's one thing you can continue to do in your life that will keep you punctual?
Build a routine.
Build a routine. How many of you feel like you have a routine? Okay, what's another thing you can do to stay punctual? Or to become punctual? Yes?
You change your alarm clock to 15 minutes before.
How many of you have done that? Changed your alarm clock to like 5 or 10 or 15 minutes? I do it every morning because I know I'm going to want to lay there. So I have it 10 minutes earlier than it is, and then I know if I need to, I can sleep in 10 minutes later and I'll still be okay. What else can you do to stay punctual? Okay, what would you do to stop being late? What could you do to stop being late? Yes?
Cut back on time on things that aren't really necessary for time.
Yes, cut back on things that really aren't necessary. Like, let's say, for example, you're in the hallway and you have to be at class in your seat when the bell rings. What do you stop doing? What do you have to stop doing? Talking, stopping in the hall, socializing. My favorite line of all high schoolers is, 4 minutes is not enough time to get to class. Really? Is it? Or is it not enough time to talk to your friends? And you know what? I understand that's social time. I get it. I get it. But really, we have to think about what's going to be the most important to us. And sometimes in high school, being on time to class may not be your number one priority. But just remember, routines and the way that you start to build things are a priority. And if you're always late in high school, have you set yourself up to always be late later? All right, what else can you stop doing that will keep you on time? Stop doing. What do you do that makes you late sometimes? Yes?
Maybe if you take too long eating.
Eating, yeah. Well, and people eat at different rates. I mean, I'll just be honest. I'm a fast eater because I taught school for a long time, and I think every teacher is a fast eater. So, but yes, taking too long to eat, possibly. What else? Yes.
You don't be on your phone in the morning, so your phone doesn't distract you.
How many of you have done that? Every morning you go, I gotta see what's going on Instagram. How many do that every morning? I can tell you right now, I took my granddaughter out to the bus for a lot of years, and if I see her tell me that she has to keep her snap, what is it called, guys? What is it?
Snap score?
Yeah, every day she has to snap all these people to make sure that, she keeps some kind of streak. I have no idea what that means, but I know it took a lot of time in the morning. And I told her that the next time she did it, it better be on the way to the bus stop and not getting ready for school. Because it was taking time away from her when she was curling her hair or doing what else she had. What else can you stop doing? Yes? Procrastinating. Who knows, who can say in here for a fact, you know a moment when you've procrastinated? If you don't have your hand up, I think that you're just not thinking what procrastinating is. Sometimes we all do it. I procrastinate every time I have something that I really don't want to deal with, and I know I have to get it done, but I really don't want to deal with it, and then I make other things a priority. Procrastination is definitely an issue. How many minutes is it?
We don't get out of here until 9:08, so
Okay.
you got some time.
Okay. What can you continue to do that will keep you on time? What can you continue to do to keep you on time at Harrison's?
Leave the house, like, you predict that the train will stop you.
Love what he just said. Can you say that louder?
Or, like, leave early, so, like, the train or something won't stop you and you won't be late.
What did he do just now? What did he just do to help him prepare? Anybody? He predicted something that could happen. Now, mind you,